recording in progress. If everybody could approve that you're okay with me recording you, that would be lovely. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Erin Mayer, and I am so unbelievably excited to hang out with you tonight to share a bit about my story and really help you start your health and fitness journey or take it to the next level for this summer and stick to it. I don't know about you, but I was really good at quitting. Can anybody relate to that? When it came to nutrition, to fitness, to paying for a gym membership you never went to, I was a professional quitter. I put on such good game at being like, oh my gosh, it's January and I'm going to so rock my health and fitness journey. I've got this. It's a new year, new me. And then by January 4th, I might have lasted 4 days, maybe 4 days of going to the gym, eating salads for 3 meals a day, because I thought that's what you had to do to see the scale move. So I was hangry. My family hated me. My husband, I don't know why he didn't leave me at that point because I was so miserable and hungry. And then I just gave up because I was like, well, this is stupid. I can't live like this. Well, I'm all set. So I checked out. And then February would come around after Valentine's Day. I ate all the chocolate. I ate all the sugar. It was like, I'm a whale. The beach just happened in a few months. I was really mean to myself. Really, really mean. And so I would be like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to so do it. I'm going to get healthy and I'm going to do all these things. And then same cycle, try to go to the gym. If I'd go to the gym, I was so self-conscious of touching the weights or having anyone try to see me do any type of machine that I would go on the treadmill for 20 minutes walking. I might jog for a half a second if a runner came near me because I am competitive, even though I couldn't last more than 45 seconds jogging. So then I'd be like, all right, I'm all set, I'm out. And then on the ride home from the gym, because I went on the treadmill for 20 minutes walking, I would go to Dunkin' Donuts to get my medium iced coffee with my extra everything. Because I was like, I went to the gym, I can have this now. And I would get my chocolate chip muffin. So there you go. So I was a professional quitter. And that was kind of my cycle for a very, very, very long time. And no matter how depressed, down, tired, exhausted I was, I just could never get past that hump. And it wasn't until almost, it was 7 years ago now, that we had basically the biggest scare in our family's life when my husband, Matt, got really sick. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically we found, Matt went from thinking he had a man cold to finding out he had a severe MRSA infection in his throat, which had grown polyps that had blocked his airway. And my in-laws drove him to the hospital because I had worked the night before. I had a newborn baby I was nursing. The 2 kids were in jammies. And I just remember getting a phone call from my mother-in-law after she took Matt over and was like, you just need to find a way to get here. Talk to your mom, see what you can do with the kid. You have to get here. And by the time I showed up, they were already talking about intubating him. And that moment in my life scared the crap out of me because we were in our young 30s. I thought we had at least 40, 50 years left. The longevity in my family's history is mid 70s, maybe, which is sad, but true. So I was like, we've got 30, 40 years left. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing my husband, my partner, the love of my life, fighting for his life. And I had a lot of quiet moments next to him thinking, how am I going to tell the kids? How am I going to become a single parent? I know there's people out there that have done this, but how am I going to be able to do it? Working my restaurant job, spending nights and weekends already away. How will this even happen? And I say the grace of God, whether enter God, the universe, whatever you want to believe in, right? Whatever you feel, the force, I love Star Wars, so we can say the force, right? Stepped in, and thankfully Matt made it home. And I looked at that as second chance in life. But that fear, that scare really gave me the wake up call to say enough's enough and I need to do something. And so Tonight, I'm going to share with you 5 simple tips on what you can do to implement your health and fitness journey and truly take it to the next level throughout the summer. I know that a lot of you, if you're parents, you can drop it in the chat and say, yes, I'm a parent. My kids are done with school. They're done with school soon. If you're not a parent and you're like, I'm going to be living at the beach this summer. No matter what, there's going to be those distractions coming up. Or you're tubing. Maybe you're tubing like I think Gracie was tubing recently. Everybody's got stuff this summer. I think especially with like COVID lifting, and I think people like ripping off, at least in the States, where I am, it looks like people are trying to rip off their masks like they burned their bras years ago. Like they're like, here we go. Now, please stay safe. That's all I'm going to say. Do what you need to do to be safe and careful. Okay. But my point is I feel like there's a lot of folks that are like, okay, this summer is going to be the summer of like summers of all summers because 2020 was a nightmare. So 2021, I got to make up for it. So with that said, as we may be going into a season of more experiences and looking to make more memories with those close to us, we really, really, really have an opportunity to also build amazing habits with our health and fitness that if you choose to commit to these 5 steps and implementing this into your life now, even in a busy season, you have an opportunity to set a habit up that's going to last forever. Because to be honest, this summer may be busy, but the holiday season's busy. Back to school's busy. Spring's busy. It's all busy. We're all flipping busy, guys. We're all flipping busy. So if we can go into every season and say, you know, I'm going to commit to this, I'm going to commit to this now, and truly make this a long-lasting lifestyle thing, you're able to make the changes that this is no longer feels like work, it feels like self-care. And when it feels like self-care, you just feel good. And I can tell you for me personally, you know, 7 years in from when I had the total nightmare with Matt, right? To then in August of 2014, when I started my very first at-home fitness program with Beachbody, where I nearly died on the floor of my parents' living room. I'm talking in tears. Shaun T mentioned burpees, and I was like, what? A burp is like what you have come out of your mouth from soda. I don't know what this thing is up and down on the floor, not happening. So my point is we get to do something amazing here. Okay. So here we go. 5 steps. I'm starting to lose my train of thought because I get so excited. And then I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, I have something to say. Okay. I have my notes here. All right. 5 things. Tip number 1, as you're thinking about this summer and how you're going to focus on your health and fitness journey from the inside out, I need you to commit to now prioritizing your health, just like you're prioritizing your vacations, your kids' camps, the activities, the preschool stuff, the back to school stuff. Put it on the calendar and make it just as important as everything else. I can't even tell you how many conversations my husband and I are having right now about when's the next tournament. So my 2 older girls are like softball fanatics. I have a pitcher, I have a catcher. They don't like to practice together because they fight with each other. It's doesn't make sense to me. This should be like so easy. Go outside, go pitch and catch for each other. It'll be wonderful. They don't. It is what it is. But my point is that between them being on 2 different teams this summer, you know, Matt and I keep talking about our schedule because Monday through Thursday, we have games alternating kids. And then 5 out of the next 2 months, we have tournaments, which means that we are on the road at least 3 games on Saturday and then a single elimination on Sunday. So Sunday, we don't know when we're going home. Like it's like when we lose, we go. It could be fast and we're out one and done, or we could be there 3 or 4 games. We have no idea. So as we're coordinating our schedules and talking so much about it, it got me thinking, how many times do you or I actually say, hey, so for this summer, I'm working on this, so I'm going to be working out at this time, or I want to be active these days, or maybe whatever it is. It actually, we could talk about businesses too. If you have a business, or you have a goal that you want to set, maybe a book you want to read, whatever you're doing to grow in here, in your full body, to truly be your best self, we need to have those conversations to make it a priority with the people who are the significant others or our partners in our home or even our children. Because if we just say, well, I'm going to do this summer, but we don't actually commit to a plan and action, chances are it's not going to get done. Because then, just like always, I know me, I'll call myself out on this. I'm like, well, it's going to happen. And then I would choose to let everything else get in the way, because I'd be like, well, I don't have time. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. And we need to commit now. Your health is just as important as figuring out which camp your kids are going to, when you're scheduling cleanings for your teeth, your doctor's appointments, your work projects. Your health needs to be just as important. So that's number one. Number two, if you are following a fitness program, I challenge you to schedule your workouts and put it in your phone, in your calendar. Because when you put it in your phone and in your calendar, you've set the date, you've set the time, you know when it's going to be. And then it's just up to you showing up. And with that said, if it's in the calendar and in your phone, and you're synced to the other adults that you live with, or maybe you're scheduling your time for your fitness, you have that conversation with your significant other, your partner, or even your kids. Hey, this is the time that I'm planning on working out. I just want to make sure this is right for the whole home. Or saying to your kids, hey, Mom's going to put on Bubble Guppies for 30 minutes. Does that sound good? I'm going to do my workout right next to you and do this 21-day fix workout so I can be stronger for you and have the energy so we can go to the beach later. When you have those conversations with your young ones, it doesn't mean you're not pressing pause to make sausage links in the morning. It doesn't mean that you're not all of a sudden like refereeing two kids arguing about what they're going to do or what they're going to watch. But it just means that you're starting to, over time, build those habits so your family knows what to expect from you. Because the more you talk about it, the more you set it on the schedule, the more you say you're going to do it, the more you're going to follow through. And the more you follow through creates confidence and consistency. And that's when you become a fire-breathing dragon when it comes to your goals. Number three, your health journey is about full body health, mind, body, spirit. Okay. When you are committing to focusing on losing weight, gaining healthy weight, toning up, we have to do work from the inside out. And this was something I'd put off for a long time, because when I started everything, I was working full-time as a general manager at Olive Garden restaurants. Plus we had the 3 kids and eventually 4. And I remember my mentor talking about reading and listening to books to help build my confidence and grow my mindset. And I was like, shit, I don't have time for that. You want me to read a book? I just started working out 25 minutes a day and remembering to blend a shake in the morning. Plus, I have all these humans around me. And you want me to read a book? I don't have time for that. And you know what? I said that for a couple of years. And then what happened was my mom had been diagnosed with cancer. My mom was diagnosed with small cell carcinoma lung cancer. And during that season in life, because I knew my mom was terminal and I knew I had to be strong for those around me, for my family, for my kids, for my parents, for my siblings, for my work environment. Plus, at that point, I'd already made the decision to start coaching. So I had clients that I was leading by the behaviors that I was doing. I knew I needed to be very, very, very focused on all of it. So I finally decided to start listening to books. I started listening to audiobooks when I was in the shower, when I was washing dishes, when I was cooking dinner. I would typically put like one ear pod in, or I'd even play it out loud in the house, because like it's not going to hurt my kids to hear like, oh, there goes mom again listening to that stuff about growth and mindset. I swear they listen after a while. Some don't, but some do. My point is I started listening to audiobooks, even just 10, 20 minutes a day. And what I found was that when life gets hard, when things are challenging, when you're building strength here and here, you have the tools in your toolbox to be able to not necessarily handle the tough stuff easier, but you're more fueled in a mindset of, instead of saying, oh, this is happening to, why has this always happened to me? You transition to all right, this is the card I was dealt. How am I going to make this through? How can I make this work? So a couple great personal development books. And if anybody else listens to books, or I was just going to say that, Carmen, if you guys want to drop what you're listening to, I just finished The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes, which is a really good book. And I'm listening to Mastering Your Mindset. I recently listened to The Secret, and I listened to a Millionaire Mind, something Millionaire Mind. It's about money. It's about money and dealing with like money blocks. But really, 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 there's great podcasts you can listen to. There's great books you can listen to. And if you can, yes, get a book and sit down and read. Because the more you can fuel your mind, the more everything else will really, truly fall into place. Okay, so that's 3. So number 4, heading into this summer and thinking about your goals, I want to give you the permission to give yourself permission to no longer stress about being perfect. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing. And I think that that was a block that I personally struggled with. And what I hear some of you even say that you struggle with. Well, I committed to this program. I'm going to do this 30-minute workout 7 days a week. And you're on day 5 and then something happens. Maybe you had a sick child. Maybe you got called into work early. Maybe things just lost track of time. And then all of a sudden you miss day 6 and you're like, well, there goes that. I'm just going to start again on Monday. So day 6 is Saturday. Then you're like, well, Sunday hit. I'm going to have chocolate chip pancakes in the morning and just kind of sleep in and not really worry about it. I'll start again Monday. And then because Monday rolls around and you miss day 6, day 7, you're like, oh, I'm a failure. Do I have to start over? Am I supposed to start at day 1? Can I pick up where I was? I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten messages from clients over the years saying, I took a couple days off. I was on day 30. Should I go back to day 1? If it makes you happy, go back to day 1, but just keep going. Just keep going. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done in a way that makes you feel good. So stop striving for perfection and feeling like you have to follow a certain routine, because things can always be modified. I remember that first program that I did with Shaun T, which was a 25-minute workout. That workout, which I was told was only 25 minutes a day, on Fridays was scheduled 2 workouts, which was not disclosed to me when I got the program. And there was no way as a restaurant manager on a Friday with 3 kids at home, I could do a 15-minute workout. It was just not happening, let alone I was even struggling to do the 25-minute workout. So I would sometimes miss Friday's workout, but instead of completely missing it, I would do planks in the kitchen right next to the kids while they were having lunch. And I used to, this is like my signature thing, I would do a bathroom squat challenge every Friday. Every Friday, anytime I peed, hopefully nobody thinks this is like too weird and hangs up and blocks me, but I'm just going to be myself and hope that it resonates with you. And if not, sorry, it is what it is. Every time I went pee, I squatted 10 times. So you imagine if you're working on your nutrition and you're increasing your water, you're going to the bathroom a whole lot more than you were before, which is a whole lot more squats. So I used to do things like that. So I felt like I was doing something and not completely doing nothing. So guys, remember, going for the family walk, going for the hike, getting outside And choosing not to do your formal workout that day is not a bad thing. It just means that you've made adjustments based on what's best for you and for your family. So don't stress about being perfect. Live. Same with nutrition. If you want an ice cream and it's not going to derail you, have that ice cream. If you want that slice of pizza and it's not going to derail you, my friends, I love, if you live in Massachusetts, there is this place called Baldy's in Lakeville, Massachusetts, and they have the best barbecue chicken pizza. For my birthday, this is what I want. For life, like if I could pick my last supper would be Baldy's barbecue chicken pizza. I would have pumpkin beer with the sugar rim, even in the summer, I don't care, even in the summer. And then I would top it off with fish food Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Oh my gosh. My husband knows the way to my heart. If it's ever one of those weeks, one of those weeks when it's like your period week and then you're like, everything's just, and then he just comes home with Ben & Jerry. I'm like, my boyfriend's here. Life is wonderful. We're all set. And hopefully that's not a trigger to anybody. And they're like, oh my gosh, Erin, now I'm going to go have like 7 bites of Ben & Jerry's this week. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you want the treat, if you want to go to the ice cream shop, enjoy your summer. Just live with balance. Teach yourself that, what, if I have ice cream multiple days in a row, chances are I'm not going to be feeling so good and I'm not going to have a lot of energy. So when I go press play for my workout the next morning, it might not be so pretty. Same as when you fuel yourself well, when you follow your nutrition plan, when you're feeding your body in a way to get your best results, acknowledge the fact that, oh, I'm a little pep my step here. I'm feeling pretty good. So then you start to learn what your body reacts well to and what it struggles from. And the same thing to keep in mind, when you make the decision to have the Ben & Jerry's, enjoy it, love it, know you might not feel amazing the next day and be okay with it, but then just get right back on track with what the things you're going to do that are going to help you feel well. Okay, so number five is please, 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 please find a community if you're not already in our community, or an accountability buddy. Partner up with someone. So when I started my journey, my coach invited me to a challenge group on Facebook. And I was like the first one from our hometown area that ever joined this Facebook group community. So I knew nobody. I knew the person who invited me, that's it. And I was probably a wallflower for almost a good solid month. I would go into the Facebook page and I would see people posting about their workouts and their journey. And I would see this coach, Tony, go live. I'm like, oh, he's so cool. He's so energetic. It's great. But I didn't post anything. I didn't do anything that because I was like, I don't want these strangers seeing my stuff on Facebook. I'm not going to share a thing. I don't want them to know what I'm doing. I'm just going to do my own thing. And I was kind of wishy-washy about it, but I was doing my workouts and I was doing my stuff. Well, here's the thing. I remember the very first day I decided to truly open up to this community and to be able to really lean on them. We were currently living at my parents' house. We were building our forever home. And I can remember that day I was wearing a green t-shirt and it was a Minion on it. Minion like David, Dave, the Minion, Minions, Despicable Me, right? Why, I don't know. I had a St. Patrick's Day Minion t-shirt. But at that point, I still hadn't really committed to my fitness journey, so I owned no workout clothes. I had a handful of sports bars. Why, I don't know. But I wore Matt's gym shorts and I wore oversized t-shirts for the first 3-4 months because I was not going to spend the money on workout clothes to then quit. So I was no. So anyways, I had my cell phone and I decided finally this one day, I'm like, I'm going to post in this group. I'm going to really let them know I'm here. I'm actually doing this thing. So I took my phone. Mind you, I'm the worst millennial, right? I think I'm a millennial, right? Worst millennial. I didn't have an iPhone. I had a slide phone. Slide. Remember those old slide phones? I had a little red slide phone. I just got the internet on my phone. I think I got like text on my phone like a couple weeks before. So I was like that bad. Like I had no idea what was happening. All I knew is I had a phone. I thought I was just going to call people for the rest of my life. Then all of a sudden, all this techie stuff started happening. Well, anyways, I had my slide phone. I remember sliding my phone to open up the camera to take my really horrible fuzzy picture. And I remember putting up my phone and setting it up just right so I could get Shaun T in the background so people would really know I was doing it. Like I was making it look like I was really working out for this picture. And I posted it in the group. And I was so excited because for the first time ever, I was letting this community of people know that I was doing something. But the story kind of takes a funny turn. So for those that haven't heard this before, what happened is I didn't just post it in the private challenge group. Yours truly actually posted it on my own personal timeline on Facebook for all 100 friends of mine to see. And all of a sudden, my husband's cousin's names start popping up, liking and commenting on my picture. And I was just like, what the heck happened? I messaged my coach. I was like, I thought this group was private. How can these people see my stuff? Telling my husband, are your cousins doing this group with me? I thought I was alone because I didn't want anybody to know I was doing anything because I still had kind of thought I'd probably fail and quit like everything else because I was that professional quitter. And yeah, there we are. On my personal timeline. How is this possible? Well, turns out I didn't grasp that you actually had to go into the group on Facebook and post on the group. I just thought Facebook would know what I wanted to do because Facebook knows everything. We all know that now. They know everything. I just thought they would do it for me. Well, long story short, I ended up posting about my journey on my Facebook timeline. And I'll tell you, two things happened. Well, no, three. One, I didn't know how to delete the post, so it sat there, right? So there we go. That's number one. But two things followed up with that. Number one, people started asking me what I was doing, which made me feel good and created more energy for me that I was actually on the right track and doing something. And number two, it forced me to show up. It forced me, even on the days that I didn't want to work out, even on the days that I didn't feel like doing it, even on the days that all the excuses were there, like on the tip of my tongue being like, well, I can't really, for the first time ever, because I finally had a community surrounding me, not just the private group on Facebook once I figured out how to actually post in there, also my Facebook community. Having people doing this alongside me that I ended up building friendships and relationships with and connections with forced me to keep going even when things were hard. Now, going back to when I talked about with personal development, my mom. So my mom, when she was diagnosed with cancer, it was quick. I can remember going to the hospital. First, she told us she had pneumonia. My mom is a very private person. She told us she had pneumonia. She was sick. She wasn't feeling well. And that's what they thought from her scan with her lungs first. They thought she had pneumonia. Then they put her on medicine and antibiotics. And a couple weeks later, nothing was really happening. She still wasn't feeling right. So she ended up going up to Brigham and Women's in Boston. And they ran some tests and she was admitted. And my dad, who's kind of like oblivious, and I love him, but he kind of just has no clue, was like, oh, your mom's up at the hospital. They're going to check her out for a couple days for pneumonia. And I'll never forget, I was working at the Olive Garden in Stoughton, and my sister and I are on the phone together. And she's like, so she was working up at Canada in the time. She was up, she worked for, a company out of Canada. So we're on the phone and she's like, do you think something's really up with mom? Like, do they really keep you at the hospital for days for pneumonia? And I remember saying to Kelly, do you think she might have cancer? I go, I hate to say it, but do you think it's something like that? And Kelly's like, no, Erin, no, nothing like that. And so the next day, my dad came up to visit me at the restaurant. because my family came for free food. That's basically why they visited me. It wasn't a loving relationship. They loved our food. No, I think they loved me, but they wanted free food. I was the manager, so I could feed them for free. Anyways, so he came up to visit me, and I happened to be working an earlier shift that day. So I said, you know what, why don't we drive up and surprise her, and let's see what's going on at the hospital and find out. And I remember walking into the hospital room to see her. And I don't remember the exact words, but I remember how it felt. And I remember seeing her eyes as she told us what was happening. And I just remember there was two different emotions happening in the room. There was my dad, who was stubborn, who was like, we're going to fight this. It's going to be just so, and wants to get angry. And then there's my mom, who has almost this energy of peace. And I remember driving home that night, and I remember walking in our bedroom, because at that point we were living here. And Matt got out of bed because it was really, really late when I finally got home. And I just said to him, I know she's dying. And that night I grieved the loss of my mom before she left, before she passed on. And the next day, I remember posting, once she gave us permission to make it public, because she didn't want anybody to know, right, at first. So no, it wasn't the next day. It's a couple weeks later. That's what it was, a couple weeks later, when she finally gave us the permission to share with people. I remember posting in our challenge group. I was in this big challenge group. It was with our bigger team called Team Icon. And I remember posting a post-workout selfie. And I shared what was going on with our family and what was going on with my mom. And I did it because I just knew there was a very good chance, with all these hundreds of people, someone else might understand. And maybe they could give me some advice on how I could help support my family, how I can talk to my kids. And I'll tell you, when I opened up about that hard time in that season and asking for help, people who were complete strangers to me, who I did not know one bit, not like I was their coach or anything, like they were just in there, reached out to me more than some of the people who were in my life as my friends in my community. These strangers who ended up becoming my family, sharing their stories, offering advice, sending messages, and just saying, I just want you to know, Erin, I'm thinking about you and your family. You don't even have to write me back, but I'm thinking about you. And for me, that ended up becoming the piece that helped me get through and stay on my journey. And I don't mean just my health and fitness journey. It was my life journey of, I'm going to find a way to make it through. So when you become a part of our community, and I'm guessing quite a few watching this now live, or even catching the recording, if you catch the recording, if you're in our community, this can be, if you open up to it, so much more than just a fitness thing. This can be a support thing for whatever season of life you're in. There's this amount of respect that we have for each other in this safe space with a world that's so crazy. And if you're not in our community, I highly recommend you get in our community, because we all face hards. And Kim, I was thinking of you as I'm saying this story. Kim's sister was just recently diagnosed, and we've been talking back and forth. And I was thinking of you, and I saw your name, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to totally like, now I'm starting. I get, all right, I'll stop. Okay. So if you're not in our community, get in our community, because it can be life-changing on so many levels than just a health and fitness thing. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. But just to recap before I totally lose my train of thought, the 5 things are: is prioritize your health this summer. Really make it important, put it on the calendar, communicate with your family and friends and loved ones. Number 2, schedule your workouts. Make them just as important as your fitness, like just as important as like a doctor's appointment or something with your kids. Number 3, make this more than just a health and fitness workout thing or nutrition thing. It needs to be a mindset thing, growing into who you want to be from here and here. Podcasts, listen to books, grow, 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 grow. Number 4, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing. This is a progression, and we're in this for the long haul. It's not a sprint, it's marathon. So don't focus on being perfect and then beating yourself up if you hit a roadblock. Keep moving forward. It's one day, step by step, consistently over time. And number 5, find a virtual gym buddy, find a community that supports you, that uplifts you, that encourages you, that creates positivity in your life, especially when you need it most, because we all need it. We all need it. And this can be exactly what could be the game changer for you on so many levels, like I shared with Big. Not just a health and fitness thing, but a life thing. And so I know at this point, if you've been on, we're at about 40 minutes. So I will wrap it up. So if you do want to get off, totally fine, hop off. I'm not offended at all because I know it's a late night and I want to make sure you guys get your rest and ready to go for tomorrow morning. But if you can hang with me for just a second, I just want to mention quickly, for those that don't know, our team has decided to put together a fun flash sale this weekend. So a flash sale of items, everything from our fitness programs to our nutrition programs, to even just like our collagen and focusing on skincare, as well as our Energize, which is our pre-workout that I'm obsessed with, that I had right before this call because I wanted to bring you all the energy and love. And yes, I'll still be able to sleep tonight. Don't worry. I get excited anyways talking about what we do because it makes me happy. But I also have my Energize sometimes when I'm about to fold a ton of laundry, because laundry is death to me and Energize is life. Anywho, so we're going to have a lot of great items on sale available to you, as well as gift card giveaways and raffle prizes. So please make sure, if you got this video from me, reach out to me and I'll get you into the flash sale. If you have a coach on our team, or you're looking to partner up with someone, make sure you reach out and we get you set up so you can take advantage of that sale. It officially starts tonight. It started tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The beauty of Facebook now is you can schedule posts. So I think I've been scheduling, I think I got posts going off every 10 minutes in this group, but I've been talking to you. So that's what's fantastic about technology right now. And then we're gonna have really great testimonials to share throughout the weekend, and it ends Sunday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I just got word that there is possibly some special promo code that is coming out for anybody that gets one of our packages. It's highlighted this weekend for, I don't know, I think like a $50 off code for our next program that's coming out this next month, called 645, 50%. I thought it was $50. I was like, holy mackerel, 50% off. So you get the newest program that's going to be available for early release soon at 50% off. So for those of you that just recently started, that grabbed your package over the last 10 days, you're going to get a coupon code for that. So please stay tuned. And thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me. I know this was a more formal call this evening because we have some folks visiting and joining in. Next week, we're going to be working on some fun topics on how to help you really take your fitness to the next level, as well as, again, just always growing on our mindset. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. And let's have a great June. All right, that's a wrap. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great night.